Hey everyone, Comic Order 410 here. For a while now I've been considering making videos of my EC comics, mostly because I have a much nicer camera than I did 3 years ago. So I decided I'd get started today with my all-time favorite EC series, Tales from the Crypt. These books are very special to me for several reasons. First and most obviously are the stunning covers that were contributed by the great artists at EC. In my humble opinion, I think it could be argued when you look at them from top to bottom that EC had the greatest stable of artists ever assembled in comics history. I'm a little bit biased, but I certainly think that argument could be made. And these covers have stood the test of time so well. They are still stunning and impactful today. They influence countless great artists that are in the industry now. And I also think the stories inside hold up very well for 1950s horror. And I think that speaks volumes to how far ahead of their time EC was with their horror and sci-fi comics in particular. These books are also special to me because as a kid in the 80s, I saw my uncle's copies. He collected EC comics, and even as a kid, he had a mail order subscription for Tales from the Crypt. As many of you know, they didn't have poly bags back then, so he would read his copies and stick them back in the subscription envelopes for safekeeping. And when I saw these as a kid in the 80s, these covers made an immediate impression on me that lasted a lifetime. So I'm very happy to have the ones that I do own. I do not own any Crypt of Terrors. This series started basically as Crypt of Terror with issue 17, 18, 19, and then the title was changed to Tales from the Crypt with issue 20. So I'm missing Tales from the Crypt 20, 21, 22, and the final issue 46. Once I have those four, I'll have a complete run of this series, which I hope to accomplish someday. This is Tales from the Crypt 23. It's the first issue I have. This one's kind of in rough shape. A lot of discoloration on the spine, but I got this for less than 20 bucks. Very happy to have it. This is a Al Feldstein cover, and it was William Gaines and Al Feldstein that started this series and the companion series, Vault of Horror and Haunt of Fear. This is Tales from the Crypt 24. Some damage along the spine, but a nice bright copy of this beautiful Al Feldstein cover. And as time has gone on, I've become more and more content with the copies that I own, especially when I go to conventions and see what dealers are asking for copies in lower grade than mine. So very happy to have these. The paper quality on ECs was notoriously cheap, especially the cover stock, to the point where a lot of people who press books, if your ECs are slightly rough, they will refuse to press them because they'll just fall apart. So this is Tales from the Crypt number 25. Another Al Feldstein cover here. Not in too bad a shape. Most of them have the month-day stamp, which is kind of a sign of the times and doesn't really detract from the value, as most of you know. This is Tales from the Crypt 26. The spine's a little rough, but not bad. The cover presents beautifully, and I believe this is Wally Wood's second cover work at EC. He's probably my favorite cover artist at EC. I also love Frank Frazetta. He just didn't do that much work there, but Wally Wood's covers are all gorgeous. And this is, again, I think his second cover for EC, and obviously his first on Tales from the Crypt. So I'm very happy to have that. This is a really nice copy here of Tales from the Crypt number 27. Nice bright colors. Another Wally Wood masterpiece, this guillotine cover, and very happy to own that copy. This is Tales from the Crypt number 28. And this, I believe he always signs his work, but I still believe this is Al Feldstein on this Buried Alive cover. Again, a pretty nice bright copy. My main thing is having the cover display nicely. It's nice when you can get them in great condition, but like I said, with the cost of these books and the notoriously low quality paper and cover stock, you kind of have to lower your standards when buying these books a little bit, especially when you're on a budget like me. But this is another copy I'm quite happy with. Bright colors, pops very nicely. Incredible Jack Davis cover, who's another one of my favorite artists. He was a jack of many trades. He could do the comedy covers, the cartoony covers, and he could do horror covers with the best of them. So very happy to have this Tales from the Crypt 29. Another Jack Davis stunner. You can start to see in his zombies what a influence on Bernie Wrightson's work he was. Bernie's another one of my favorite artists, but EC horror is what made him fall in love with horror comics. And this is Tales from the Crypt 30. Tales from the Crypt 31. Another great Jack Davis cover here. A lot of executions going on in EC. This is a really notorious Tales from the Crypt cover to issue 32. Very controversial, and I believe this one was cited in the Parade of Pleasures book, as was the last one that Jack Davis did. And this cover was banned after it came out, which is kind of hard to do at that time period, but this cover was banned after it came out. Beautiful stuff by Jack Davis. And this is Tales from the Crypt 33. Again, pretty nice copy. Has some hard rubbing at the bottom of the spine there. But this contains a story, Lower Birth, which is the origin of the Crypt Keeper. And you can get a clue to where he came from this cover. But again, another stunner by Jack Davis. Beautiful stuff. Very happy to have that one. Okay, this is Tales from the Crypt 34. Again, Jack Davis killing it on the covers. Amazing Frankenstein cover here. Jack the Ripper getting ready to slash a girl. Very controversial stuff. You can see why they were targeted in the Senate hearings. That one was also with the Jack the Ripper. That was also cited in either Parade of Pleasure or Seduction of the Innocent, one of them. A lot of them are famous for that reason, as well as shock suspense stories. Those covers really pissed off the senators. This is Tales from the Crypt 35. Great werewolf cover by Jack Davis. This one is not in bad shape at all. Issue 36 of Tales from the Crypt. Again, Jack Davis with a great vampire cover. Unfortunately has a crease right here, but still presents nicely, and it has an adaptation of a Ray Bradbury story, and they kind of almost got in trouble for doing a story that was basically an adaptation of Bradbury's work earlier without permission. So they met with Ray Bradbury, compensated him, and worked out an agreement to do adaptations of his stories, and now they could advertise it on the cover. One of my all-time favorite Tales from the Crypt covers, Tales from the Crypt 37. Amazing Jack Davis cover. This has some rough patches here on the spine, but presents beautifully, great colors, and you can look at this cover and really, really see this is one of the ones that influenced Bernie Wrightson. And I actually commissioned a year or two ago the Living Corpse team to do homage piece to this, and they, not only did I get the original art because I commissioned it, they made prints out of it, and they made a nice print for me on canvas, and they did an amazing job. If I remember, I'll link the video below, but they did an amazing job homaging Jack Davis's great cover there. This is Tales from the Crypt 38. Sorry, don't want it to fall. This is Tales from the Crypt 38. This was a cover that EC decided to censor themselves before it came out. I believe the solicited cover, as Hippies Collectibles told me, actually had a woman's arm dangling out of the coffin, which was quite offensive. Really like this cover, though. Unfortunately, it has a small chip out of the top of the spine there. But again, with these, I take what I can get. Tales from the Crypt 39, another Jack Davis cover. Great stuff. This one's got some spine ticks, but not too bad at all. Just got this copy recently. I showed it. It's pretty roughed up. This is Tales from the Crypt 40. probably my favorite Jack Davis cover of the entire Tales from the Crypt run. It's beautiful. This copy's a little rough, but I also have this copy, which is in pretty nice shape. Nice and bright, colors pop. I just think that is a fantastic cover. The cartoony nature of the fish do not detract from the impact of this cover at all. And man, this copy is pretty sharp. Small fox ear, small tick there, and 2 or 3 little spine ticks. But for a Golden Age EC, that's a nice copy, and I'm very happy to have that because I love that cover. Here's another one. This is I believe it was, sorry. I believe it was this issue and the one I just showed were used actually in the Senate hearings that created the comics code. Should have done a little more research before I started recording. Sorry about that. But I was kind of surprised with the cover that was banned before and the cover that they decided to censor, that this cover didn't get more immediate backlash. Again, it was used in the Senate hearing, so it was pretty offensive for the time. But Jack Davis did a lot of their... seems like the covers that got banned or censored or got used in the Senate hearings, a lot of them were Jack Davis, but he still rules. Love that cover as well. Tales from the Crypt 42 here. Nice bright copy. Small chipping there, couple spine ticks, but very nice copy otherwise. And they are getting ready to stake this vampire, another masterpiece by the great Jack Davis. This, to me, I always thought this was a cover that probably suited shock suspense stories more than Tales from the Crypt, but beautiful cover, again by the master Jack Davis. He did the lion's share of the work on this series, obviously. But Tales from the Crypt 43, very interesting cover. I'm sorry. These Golden Age Mylars sliding down. Sorry about that. There's Tales from the Crypt 44, once again Jack Davis, and once again another guillotine cover. This one is a little rough. Got some spine rolling and some chipping on the spine, but again, not too bad. The ever-present month and day stamp. And here's another Jack Davis cover that's just fantastic. I call it the Rat from Hell, and this is the next to the last issue of Tales from the Crypt. Noticeably, it didn't have the solid color border on the cover, separating the art from the logo. He just kind of used the pastel sunset to fade into that, and I really like that on that cover. That's a great one. I hope to get 46 and the other 3 issues I need at some point and complete this run. Also, I just showed this. This is a mangled copy. It's probably like a 1.5 or less of Haunt of Fear number 18. The cover's detached, and beautiful cover, what's left of it, by Graham Ingalls, but this book was $9, so I bought it. So very happy to have the issues I do have. These books are hard to find. I also want to mention, obviously most of you know HBO adapted Tales from the Crypt into a great series. The DVD sets are cheap now. If you haven't watched them, check it out. They did a fantastic job of adapting these works, and some of the best directors in Hollywood and some of the best actors. I mean, Tom Hanks worked on that show, Richard Donner, so many others, Walter Hill. Definitely worth checking out if you haven't seen them. But everyone, thank you as always for your time. I appreciate you stopping by to check out my books. Everyone, take care of yourselves and enjoy your comics.